Hello VC and hello Steve Carlson, Vinyl Community. This is Jacob Moonrock back with a new video and this is a contest entry into Steve Carlson's 200 subscribers contest with the theme Don't Worry, Be Happy. Steve, congratulations on reaching 200 subs. I just saw on your channel you're now at 319. Sorry, just gonna dim the lights here. 319 subs. So your little contest video here has given you almost a 120 new subscribers to your channel, which is pretty amazing. It's very well deserved. You are one of my favorite channels for sure on here. I always enjoy your Sunday morning show. I'll tell you what, one thing that makes me happy, you want us to show some records that make us happy. One thing that makes me happy is watching your videos. You're always very informative. You have prepared yourself, even though the pronunciation, as you say yourself, is sometimes a bit off. I don't mind. Even when it's the island that I live on, that you mispronounce, that's okay. But yeah, I enjoy your videos quite a bit, and you have a very interesting taste in music. We share definitely a love for music from Africa, from South America, from Asia, from parts of the world where the music maybe is not too popular in the rest of the world, if that makes sense. But yeah, I enjoy your channel, Steve, and I wanted to do an entry. This was a tough one, for sure. You know, Steve, that I do enjoy a very good craft beer with my videos, and I've chosen one especially for you for this video. This is the beer called Don't Worry. It's not called Be Happy, but it's called the Don't Worry Pale Ale. It's from a Danish brewery called, can you see this? Svanike. Svanike is a town on an island in Denmark called Bornholm, which is located quite, a bit distance from the rest of the country. But it's a very beautiful small island. It takes about, I don't know, half hour, 45 minutes to drive from the west coast to the east coast. So it's not a big island in any way. And they've done this Don't Worry Pale Ale. Now, why is it called Don't Worry? Well, it is so because it is alcohol free. So the alcohol percentage in this is less than 0.5. Sorry, less than 0.5% alcohol, and 0.5 is actually the limit of alcohol you can have in your blood without getting arrested for it. You're allowed to have up till 0.5. So this has less, so you can drink this as much as you want. This is a very good pale ale. Even though there's not much alcohol in, it's still very tasty. So cheers to you, Steve. Don't worry, be happy. So good. Very tasty. Very sweet, very fruity. Excellent. So 5 records. This has not been easy, Steve. And why has it not been easy? Well, doesn't music make you happy, Jacob? Yes, it does. It makes me very happy. And I've had some really awesome experiences with music, both on record, on CDs, on tape, or live. I very much enjoy music, just like all of us in the VC do. But this was difficult to find 5 records that make me happy. Being a Scandinavian, a person living up here in the cold north, we tend to maybe be a bit more moody than happy. But I've chosen 5 records, or maybe even 5 artists that I enjoy and that put a smile on my face at least. Um, First up, I've talked about this young woman so many times on my channel now. It's ridiculous, or it's getting ridiculous. Norwegian pop sensation Sigrid. This is her Raw EP from this year. She is, in my opinion, the future of pop music. She's just released a new single called Sucker Punch, and I posted a live version of that song in the Facebook group the other day, and I got nothing but a shitload of negative comments, and no one except me actually liked this. Um, so I may be alone with this. I think most of the people who commented were Americans, and she's very un-American in her singing style, in her clothes, in her performance. She is very Scandinavian, very European. She doesn't care too much about makeup. She just puts on like a white shirt and some jeans when she performs. She's not all dressed up in skimpy dresses and so on. To me, that is a bonus, because that just puts the focus on the music and not the looks, which is in my opinion, a huge problem with many of the American and also maybe UK artists that come out and are very popular today. None of them have any clothes on, and basically the music is in the background. It's all about their image. It's all about their social media outputs and how many followers they have. Sigrid is the savior of pop music, in my opinion. She does some really great music, and I am completely in love with her. So Sigrid from Norway. Pop music back in the day, my biggest love of all time when it comes to music, even though she has released some so albums, maybe even some not so good ones. But my very first love, when I think when I was 6 or 7 years old, I heard the first song by Madonna. Not this one. I'm way older than that. I think it was Holiday I heard in 1984 or something. I was eight years old, I think, and really liked that song. And I've been a fan of hers ever since. And I could have picked any record, maybe apart from the more recent albums she's done. But this one, which came out in 1989, I was 12 or 13 years old. Just blew my mind back then, and just really confirmed my love for this woman. So Madonna, and This Is Like a Prayer, obviously, 1989. This album makes me happy, and Madonna, basically, her music makes me happy, most of the time at least. Yeah, so moving on to something, like I said, no, I'm not going to do that, I'm going to do that afterwards. Also from 1989, actually this is the very first record that I bought, the very first album that I ever bought. I think I had some cassettes, or I know that I had some cassettes. I had some Madonna and some Prince cassettes and so on. This is the very first record that I ever bought. This is The Cure, Disintegration. So why does an album so dark and so suicidal almost make me happy? Well, maybe it's not, happy-go-lucky happiness. It's more, I think, solace and comfort, I think, is maybe even a better word. I was 12 when this came out, and I was not too happy as a kid. And I'm 42 today, and I'm maybe still not too happy about certain stuff, but hey, that's how it is. But this came out at a very important time in my life, just in my early or pre-teens, and everything was just very difficult. And then I saw the video for Lullaby with Robert Smith being devoured by a giant spider, and the whole darkness, the whole mystical gothic thing just sucked me in and just made me a Cure fan instantly. I got this album, like I said, the very first record I ever bought, and I have not stopped loving it ever, basically. So this album, I think, it does make me happy when I listen to it, even though it's a very dark album. But it gives me comfort. It gives me solace, basically. I hope that you can accept that as an answer. I could have gone all disco. I could have gone I Will Survive or Young Hearts Run Free. I even thought about picking or Saturday Night Fever, and happy-go-lucky disco music. This makes me happy in a way. This is comforting for me. So Steve, I hope that you can accept that. The Cure's Disintegration. 2 more records to show you, Steve. Again, this one I could have picked other albums from this band. Something that we share a love for, like I said in the beginning, Steve, is music from let's say faraway places. Whenever I say world music, people hate me even more than they did to begin with. So let's just say people from music from faraway places. This is a band from Mali called, can you see that? Tineriwen. The album is called MR. So Tineriwen I discovered in, I think, 2009, 2010. I heard the song called, pardon my African pronunciation, I think it was called Claire Achel or Claire Akel or something. And I fell in love with it and fell in love with this band. I saw them perform in 2010 at the Roskilde Festival in Denmark, and then a couple of years later in Copenhagen. And this has just been really amazing live experiences. These guys just play their hearts out, and even though I don't understand a single word that they're saying or singing, I think maybe in this one, I think that there were some lyric sheets in English as well. I'm sure there was. Maybe it was the album that followed this one. I don't understand a single word that they're saying, but the music just is just so beautiful, so amazing. This is like desert rock, but desert blues, I think the genre is called. I'll come back to this band for your bonus question in just a short while, Steve. But Tineriwen, African music in general, South American music, Asian music, music from India. I love it all. Music from the Middle East. I absolutely love it. Tineriwen is one of my favorite bands. Last one I want to show you. I saw that my good buddy Dean from Grandma's Handbag had picked an album by LCD Sound System. I am going to pick an album from theirs, or from them too, and it is going to be this one. This is the live 5-disc live album that came out in 2014 for Record Store Day. You can see the 5 records there in the sleeves. So this was their goodbye concert in Madison Square Garden before they then later returned and regrouped and released an album that was underwhelming to say the least, American Dream, which came out last year. This is their farewell concert. I've seen this band live 3 times. Yes, twice at Roskilde and 1 time in Copenhagen. And this is easily the band that I've been listening to the most for the past 10 years. And there is no band that makes me happier when I enjoy them live than LCD Sound System. There isn't really that much going on at their shows. There is not necessarily that much communication with the audience, but their music is just the most uplifting music that I basically can imagine, basically have heard. It's just, it's just so wonderful. This album here, like I said, is the farewell concert, and there's a movie made called "Shut Up and Play the Hits." There's a documentary, I think, with that title, and then also a concert movie. And when when the concert ends, people are just standing there crying their eyes out because the band then stopped. And that way of that a band can just bring together so many different people in one room and just play their asses off. This one goes on for 3 hours. A normal concert with them is 1.5 hours. It's just simply amazing. Their ability to just bring people together and throw a party is just freaking unbelievable. So this will be my 5th LP, my 5th choice for your Don't Worry Be Happy records. So story time. I'm gonna hang on to this one and also Tineri Wen, because what makes me happy about music is a lot of things, but I very much enjoy going to the Roskilde Festival here in Denmark. It is the biggest festival in Denmark. It is one of the biggest, I think it's the biggest one in Scandinavia. It's one of the biggest ones in Europe. There are, I think, 85,000 full festival tickets, and then 5,000 tickets for each day. And there are 25 to 30,000 volunteers also attending. So in total, you have like 120,000 people each day in a very, very small, crowded space. And I mean, obviously, I've only gone to this festival since 2010 was my first year. So I was in my mid-30s. When I went to the festival the first time round. And all of my friends went back in the 90s when I was young, and they saw all of the artists that I missed out on. They saw Jeff Buckley, they saw Sonic Youth, they saw, Soundgarden, Radiohead. I know they've been back here many times. I still have not seen them live. They just saw all of these amazing concerts, and I was not comfortable going. This sounds stupid, but I'm not comfortable in large crowds. So why would I go to a festival with 120,000 people? Well, because I'm an idiot, and I still want to have some experiences with music. But growing older, getting older, and coming to terms with my fear of large crowds has persuaded me to actually go to this festival. I went in 2010. That was my first year. I went with my previous work, so I got a free ticket, and I just had so many great musical experiences that I had to go back the year after. And apart from 2014, I've been going every year since 2010. I've seen so many great bands, and one of the best experiences I had actually in 2010 with Tineri Wen, who I saw. The great thing about a festival is the festival crowd is that they are up for anything. Basically, they're up for anything. So I would think that of the, let's say, 10,000 people that were in the tent watching Tineri Wen, let's say that 1,000 of them knew them beforehand. Tops, 1,000 tops. But everyone had a party. Everyone was dancing. Once again, I don't understand a single word they're saying, and the big majority of the crowd in the tent, if not everyone, did not understand any word that they were singing. But we all had a party, and we all laughed, and we all danced. Um, Back then, there was a female also in the band, and she was out in front of the stage, or at the front of the stage, and she was dancing, and I could tell that she was crying. And I'm a very emotional guy, and when I see someone cry, I bawl my eyes out too. So I started crying, but it was tears of joy, it was tears of happiness, and I really felt that I mean, we did not have eye contact or anything. I was too far from the stage, but I could see that she was crying, and I was crying too. And I was there with my colleague at that time, and she looked at me and said, "Oh my God, you're crying." I said, "I am. I don't know why, but I'm crying. I'm happy. There's no other way to describe this. That I am happy. I'm crying, but I'm happy." And then she started crying, and that's just what music can do, I think. And especially live shows. There are other live shows that were appalling. That were just really really awful, where I was there for like 10 minutes and then left or whatever. But that concert in particular was amazing. And then once again, LCD Sound System. They have a song called "All My Friends," which they tend to close up their concerts with, and it's a song that, I mean, it has a pretty fast pace from the beginning, but the song just builds and builds and builds and builds until at the end it's just very very rowdy, very loud, very fast, and everyone in the room, everyone in the tent, everyone in front of the stage at any LCD Sound System concert ever is just on fire and it's just having the best time of their life, and that that never ever fails. There's a video on YouTube where they're playing at a festival in Germany or in Holland or whatever, or Netherlands, sorry. And it's the middle of the afternoon, and there are not that many people there. The weather is shitty, and there's a line in the song "All My Friends" where James Murphy, the singer, says, "If you worry about the weather, then you pick the wrong place to stay." And the minute he says that line, it just starts pouring down. The crowd were quiet and they were just bopping their heads in their raincoats and whatever. But as soon as the rain begins to pour down, it's torrential rainfall. Everyone just smiles, and James Murphy, the singer, just stands up. Wow, what the hell happened? And at that moment, from that moment, the party started. And once again, music brings people together, and gives us the possibility to have a party and to come together, strangers. I've been arm in arm with people that I did not know before at several shows, singing along to some whatever band or artist were playing, and enjoying that show together. I remember seeing New Order at Roskilde at a couple of years back, one of the best shows I've ever seen. And they finished. They had two songs. I don't recall if they were extra songs or if they were just incorporated, or encore songs, or if they were just incorporated within the. I think that maybe the last one was an encore. But they finished with Blue Monday, and then Love Will Tear Us Apart, the old Joy Division song, and the tent just lifted. There were 30,000 people, 17,000 in the tent. That's what the tent can take. And then at least, well, let's say 15,000 more outside. And everyone was dancing, and everyone was arm in arm. No one knew each other, it seemed like, but everyone was singing along, having a party, and having the time of their life. And that's what music can do, and that's what makes me happy about music, going to shows and seeing all of these artists and bands, overcoming the fear that I had of actually going to shows, but also discovering new bands, discovering new music. I don't care if, say, Nicki Minaj or whatever is playing on the main stage with 70,000 people there. If there's a small, interesting band playing for 30 people in a smaller tent, that's where I'm going to be. I'm gonna be discovering new music. I'm babbling here, Steve, and my throat is dry, and I have my Don't Worry beer here. That's my entry. I hope that you can accept this. Congratulations once again on your 200 subs, which is now 319 subs. Good luck with the contest drawing, whenever that is. And I look forward to more videos from you. I look forward to communicating a lot. We're friends on Facebook now, and we inspire each other with the records that we purchase and that we play and that we show in the Facebook group as well. Steve, here's to you. Take care. Bye bye.